it's dang Awesome Walla. Welcome back. We have just finished Chrono Trigger, and now we're all together to discuss some questions.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. I don't know what's going on with you guys.
That in there.
It hasn't been a week or anything, and I didn't make a mistake when we're starting the recording or anything. I'm very smart.
It's already chaotic
It's been a week for all of
Yeah,
us, huh?
might be worth pointing out that Reese started streaming this by mistake.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and then we had
So
to start
maybe
over.
someone
And
got
he's
us.
like,
But only
surprise, I'm
streaming his
recording.
part. Oh, goodness gracious.
So anyway, we are one person short at the moment, so I wanted to start with a question that could be applied to somebody who is here, Paige. Since we had already started the game and we're pretty into it already, how was it for you to come in?
Honestly, I think for me, I was also, because I haven't been, especially at the time when you guys asked me if I wanted to join, I hadn't been voice acting or a part of the skills hub community where we all met, if people don't know. I think it had been a month. So one, I was kind of feeling some imposter syndrome of okay, I guess I'm here. So honestly, I was kind of nervous the first episode, just as a side thing apart from Chrono Trigger. And then also I was not familiar with the game. I had kind of looked up some stuff, I don't know, the night before, but yeah, I kind of didn't know what was going on. So, and I didn't know what I was doing on a personal level. So I was just kind of I'm here. But it was fun because you guys all, had good banter and stuff. So I was just kind of trying to pick up on what you guys were doing. And I mean, I don't know. I had a good time. The first episode, yeah, I was kind of what's happening? But yeah, it was really fun at the end.
About how long did it take you to realize that none of us have any idea what we're doing either?
I mean,
And that we were just talking random shit.
well, at least the first episode when I got to know you guys better, I was oh, okay, I get it, I see.
Oh, they're
nobody else knows what they're
idiots.
doing either.
I feel much better now.
I mean,
I feel at home, yeah.
It's imposter syndrome all around.
Yeah.
Well,
It's fun.
you nestled yourself in there right quick as soon as you did join us, so it didn't take long
Thanks.
to feel like you'd been a part of it from the beginning. And I almost had to remind myself, I was oh yeah, she wasn't there at the beginning, was she?
I mean, that makes me feel good. I mean, I definitely have even for the back end stuff kind of inserted myself. I don't think it's a bad way. Cause
no, in a great
in a
way.
great way.
You took over doing shorts and made them
Scheduling.
really good.
scheduling.
And scheduling.
And scheduling, which is fun.
I got a job nobody
Paige-
wants
And
to do.
scheduling.
Paige is the master of wrangling us together into one place for a couple of hours.
Puppy Wrangler.
Yeah, global
Herding
time
the
zone.
cats.
Yeah, I said about that to Jeremy yesterday about that I feel like I am wrangling cats. But it's fun, I kind of get like invested, and I'm like, if it's too chaotic, I'm like, okay, like let me just get in here and let me just like figure this out, like coming up with ideas too for things of like, okay, so what are we doing for example, I don't know when this is coming out, but like, okay, what are we doing for Halloween videos? Like, let's figure it out. What games? We gotta have time so that we can edit it,
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
was like, I wasn't like this in school, so I don't know.
Happened. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's been really helpful. Like I said, that's why I said it took me a second to even remember when we were talking about, I can't even remember who mentioned it. It was like, yeah, well, when Paige wasn't even there from the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, and
That
we
makes me
started
feel
so
good,
long
though.
ago that it's,
In a couple of months.
as
Been
we're
more than
recording.
just
Well,
a
and I
couple
mean,
months,
this is going
right?
to come out in a couple
3-4
months.
months? I don't know.
I don't know
Right.
anymore.
So,
Time is a weird
Yeah.
I don't know if we reveal when we're recording this, but it's still summer. It's closing, or well,
We
at
are
least in
recording this in
the
summer.
U.S. We're recording this in
Summer-ish.
summer, and this is starting to come out in late fall,
It's pretty summery.
perhaps.
It's pretty hot outside.
Not for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Paige, is
Yeah.
your mug like an octopus?
not quite autumn yet.
Or...
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Adorable.
I've
Thanks.
got
That's awesome. The
I've got a
tentacle
mug like
handle.
I've got a mug that as you drink it, it's just it just comes down to just being a middle finger sticking up
Wow.
One of like those like heat sensor
Activated.
kind of ones. Yeah.
No, inside the mug is a straight up hand.
Oh, so it's flipping you off
I've
as you're
seen those
drinking.
ones.
Yeah. It's as you drink
on
You're
the-
it,
flipping yourself.
there is a
off.
finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got.
I've seen that.
I mean, if you don't like someone, and they come around for whatever, and you've got to give them coffee or tea out of the kindness of your heart, I guess. So there you go. Give them that. Flip them off. Tell them how
Very
you really
passive
feel.
aggressive a way to tell someone that
It's
you
great.
don't really like them. Or
Well,
appreciate their
you
know,
I
coffee.
forgot it
ironically,
was that
Ironically, I only have one because I bought it for a friend. I bought it through frickin'
I'm sorry, can we
Oh,
get
what
back
was
on
it called?
topic?
Wish. Yeah, we can get back on topic. It's just stupid. It's
So
great.
anyway, kind of related to the last question about Paige coming in when we had already started. We did get into a rhythm. We had a bit of a rocky start. So how did we get into that better flow? How did we all get there?
I mean, I think it came down to conversation first and foremost. Like we had to presence a few things and sort of take a step back, and I started sort of clocking some, looking around cameras in the room while we were recording and noticing some things and going,
Yeah. Same here.
I don't know if this is working.
Sorry.
So it just came down to, I was like, all right, so we need to reassess and think and consider, hey,
It's a Corey.
Hey, there's Kobe.
there he is. Yeah, we were just talking about, after a kind of a rocky first few episodes of not really being 100% sure how we were tackling things and what we were doing with it.
Yeah,
took
because
a
we were
minute
kind
for
of
us to,
throwing ourselves into it, like
yeah,
with no pre-planning or anything. I mean, other than like, kind of figuring out what characters, like what main characters or major characters each of us were going to tackle, but not knowing what we were going to do outside of that. So there was a lot of improv and ad-lib and stuff. And
yeah. And we knew that, like, with all of us being voice actors, because that's what brought us all together. Like, that's how we all met. We're all part of a voice acting community. Like,
Skills Hub.
So we knew that we wanted that to be a part of things, but we hadn't, like, had much discussion around, like, balance of voice acting to let's play to, like, what is this series going to be. We just kind of jumped in. And even as we've continued to go, I think we found what Chrono Trigger needs to be, but we're still figuring out, even for some of the other shows, some of the other things, as we're, like, coming up with new ideas for content, we're always kind of, like, coming back to that same question of, like, okay, where does this fit? What does this, because, obviously at this point we have Stardew Valley, which is our other major series that is going, that has nothing to do with voice acting whatsoever.
Even though Heidi and I did cast all of us as all of the
Yeah.
characters beforehand, it was like, nah, then I don't want to bother.
Yeah. I mean, it was mostly just because we are doing co-op and we don't all see the same scene. So it was just like,
Yeah.
well, we can't really do that if we can't see what the characters that you're seeing.
Right.
Because you're the one
it,
recording.
just like didn't work out like
on a technical level.
yeah, that's the word.
So we're just voice actors farming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Not only were we, feeling out like exactly how the Let's Play was going to go and everything, but we were feeling out each other with that sounds awesome.
That
We were-
sounds very wrong.
We were
Dang.
getting
Out,
to,
not
like
feeling up.
we were figuring out.
out.
We were feeling we were just filling each other out. Now I'm derailed. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so we were we were getting a feel for like how we interact with each other, and I will say that like it's pretty surprising how, at least in my opinion, I won't speak for anybody else, but it feels like we all have really strong chemistry together, right? And so the little speed bumps and stuff like that, it was easy to navigate and work around those to make sure that what we were doing was respectful to everybody here as well. And I'm still getting used to that as someone who's not from the generation where that's been taken into consideration. But
Me neither.
as far as the camaraderie and the chemistry and everything, I think we've got that pretty damn strong, which is kind of rare, right out of the gate, especially with so many people. So, but yeah, it took us a little bit to get to where we were finding our rhythm. But I mean, as people have seen by now, when this releases in 3 months or whatever, we did find our momentum and our rhythm by the end of the Chrono Trigger Let's Play, and you'll see, with other content that is released, that carryover. And so everything has just been like a growth opportunity for creating more meaningful and interesting content together.
I think the only thing I would add is I think each series is going to have its own flavor too. Like as we continue to do more things, we've been talking about, at this point we're looking ahead at Halloween. I don't know if this will be coming out. We'll be looking at Halloween in the rear view, but scheduling, yay. But from everything we're planning there, it's like we're looking at it going like, okay, where's the opportunities for us to do things that are more performance driven, voice acting driven, and what's the stuff that's just us being a bunch of goofballs playing a spooky game, a la Stardew Valley. And each, some series are going to be very heavily voiceover skewed, where there's going to be very little joking or anything in between. It's just going to be us basically dubbing over a game.
But most games have more than just dialogue.
But most games have more than just dialogue, so there's the space for us to riff in between. So it's going to be, we're going to have different types of content as we keep going. And I think that was the important thing to learn, was us to start identifying what kind of game is this and how are we going to tackle it, with regards to our content. And that's what Chrono Trigger really helped us find as the game that I think perfectly balances the two sides, the voice acting and the Let's Play kind of riffing in between element. So, and learning to be respectful to the content of the game as well.
That was one of the key things for sure.
Yeah, it can be fun to kind of take the piss and but that can go too far to coming across as though we don't have any respect for the material that we're working with, which was not ever the intention, but certainly can be how it comes across. So we're trying to be very mindful of that as we go forward as well.
And so anybody who did watch those episodes, who felt, who had a strong love for Chrono Trigger, if they felt we were being disrespectful, we did sincerely apologize.
Yeah, that
for
wasn't
that.
hard,
We're
for
just
sure.
being a bunch of goofballs, but we have course corrected. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Though I feel like a lot of times the things I love the most are the things I have the most jokes about. So
Well, that's
It is all
that's
love.
the balance, right? Because
Yeah.
some things are just so delightfully memeable.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't take care of everyone else's perception of things. You know what I mean?
Well, and that definitely the humor side of it, that definitely comes through in the shorts that especially the newest shorts that Paige worked on that haven't been put out yet, that are some pretty damn funny things. And one of them specifically was like very much in the middle of like a sort of a serious thing, but just the way it played out was just, it's really funny. I don't know if any of you guys
I feel
have
like
seen
it
that
is
yet.
a tough balance of like being, joking around and being goofy, but then also like not kind of taking over a serious scene with jokes. Yeah, I do feel like it's a tough balance that I feel like, we're like figuring out and maneuvering.
Right. But I mean, right, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's about fun, right? And having fun. And if you're not having fun, what's the point? Why even do it? So, but like you just said, it's finding that balance, and thankfully we've found that balance for the most part, I think, by the end. So, yay!
Hey. So I feel like that question's pretty much answered and discussed. Since Corey's here, we have a
I am.
question for you two. What was it like? Because you did disappear for a little bit and then came back as Magoose. So how was it for you to jump back into the rhythm of things with the story having progressed and all that?
Well, it's been a long time since I've played Chrono Trigger, and I never played it all the way through. So definitely when I came back, I think I might have been at a point when I hadn't played the game. I really can't remember. I feel like the furthest I got into it was like high school, which has been a minute for me. But yeah, I mean, like anything else, it's always fun to just like jump in to a character. So I definitely needed to play catch up a little bit with the exposition of things. But you know, it's been fun. I just like it. I love Chrono Trigger and everything that feels so like Dragon Ball Z to me. So
Yeah, cool. We were talking toward the end there, like a lot of Lavos's like inner form and stuff was very Dragon Ball-esque because of Akira Toriyama. Yeah. Does anybody want to add anything to that? Yep, okay,
Just
cool.
well done on the cool shit Corey was doing. That meant he had to vanish for a while. Just
Yeah.
awesome stuff.
thanks.
The really cool
We've
shit.
got some exciting shit happening, right?
Trying to
Yep.
make shit happen.
Shit's happening.
Oh yeah,
It's exciting.
so
shit.
much shit's gonna be happening.
Yep.
There's gonna be so much shit everywhere.
We're not talking about the IBS that all of us have.
Why didn't we call ourselves some sort of IBS related?
Well, I don't think all of us
A
have it,
separate
but
series where IBS is the acronym.
Yeah.
Just get all the members of IBS.
And then you'll always know why one player is missing.
we'll call it idiots being stupid.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of Walla we want.
Sometimes we may be missing for 15 minutes to 2 or 3 days.
Oh, no.
God, that'd be awful. Just in the background, just oh no, just like it'd be like freaking Metal Gear Solid, you know, where you got Johnny
Dear
just.
God.
Call that dang not awesome, Walla.
This is so not awesome.
Heidi, you must have another question to save us from
Sounds in the
this.
background.
Yes. So let's move on from talking about IBS to game side quests and
Don't
how heavy
disrespect
they got.
IBS, guys.
Because I do believe one of the shorts Jeremy was talking about the heavy moments where there was a Corey kind of just slinking off screen.
Yeah, can't wait for that to be put out so people can see
By
it.
the time
I
this
can't even
is put
fully
out,
remember
that
what
will
was
have
going
been
on.
put out.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, it was where.
I mean, it's in the
you-
after
you
chat, so you
spoiled
can spoil it.
the.
That Glenn
I mean,
is-
yeah, like when this comes out, it's not a.
Yeah, you can
spoiler. And I
spoil
mean,
it.
the
We
game's
can
been out
talk
for
fully.
however many years.
Yeah, this is
Where
the
you
last thing.
spoiled
It's 20
that Glenn is Frog.
Oh, right.
You're like,
Spoiled
he's the
it.
fucking frog. He's fucking frog.
I shouted it out, man. You can tell.
And we're like, what?
Like you're talking about this like gap of time that I haven't been here, and I'm like, I mean, we got a lot of predictable, archetypical, early '90s storytelling here. I know what's going on,
But the way Paige
fucking
cut the
frog.
short together, then flashes, she does it like a flashback kind of thing, or and
Oh, did
then
I say
later-
it way earlier?
Later, when it does the flashback to actually do the reveal, and they're like, Corey already fucking revealed that. He already spoiled it.
Yeah, it is pretty
It's funny,
and
dude. You'll
it's
have to check
very
it out.
much like some of the shorts I feel like are like, oh, okay, this is kind of like that one's kind of like your short, Corey, because it's very focused
My
on like
short.
a funny thing that you did. Yeah, like there's just like some like there was another one I did that was like about Jeremy's filter.
My inner
And
model.
how
My inner,
he doesn't have one.
inner filter.
And we have to come through and get the supercut of Jeremy making the what is it, the mid
same
ether joke.
The same joke.
The mid
It was
joke.
mid ether. It was mid ether, and it was the Wizard of Oz monkeys.
Nice.
I
But no,
made
it's
that
funny.
joke several times.
Like me and my wife watch. I probably even said this. Me and my wife watch a ton of horror movies, and she'll even say like, if you have an idea, don't say it, because I'm very often right. We'll be like 15 minutes into a horror movie, and I'm like, that person's the killer, or this probably is going on. Because just when you like are constantly like acting in and doing script analysis and like watching a ton of, and I watch like a very eclectic rainbow of films, not just like Marvel movies. And no offense, if that's all you watch, but don't. But like, it helps me like to be able
broaden
to
your
predict.
horizons, people.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
start to see a lot of the same types of characters and types of choices and like personalities of characters. Like even in real life, you know what I mean? Just like
See, and I
things
do
that
that.
people get locked into.
I purposely turn my brain off when I'm playing a game, because I like to be surprised. I don't want to try to figure it out for some reason, whether it's a movie
for me,
or a
it's more of an
game or
instant
whatever
thing,
it is.
Yeah,
It's just-
like I was gonna say.
That's like my wife. My wife does that, and I'm like, don't spoil
Like,
it. For
I
me.
understand like the
Well, I
language
love
of
that-
film a lot more. Like if two people are in a scuffle and then it zooms in on the gun that they dropped, then it's going to go off in that scene. But if it doesn't show the gun, it won't go off. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but that's just a
Isn't
true
that
thing.
Called
I
a
love that
thing?
dynamic. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just like, isn't that called like in films? That's like that has a name. Like if you
gun.
show a
Foreshadowing?
gun,
Chekhov's
yeah,
gun.
Foreshadowing?
Chekhov's gun.
Oh,
Definitely foreshadowing, but I don't know.
Chekhov's
I-
gun
I-
is
I-
foreshadowing.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say I
I've
love
never
that
heard of Chekhov's
dynamic
gun.
for you guys
Foreshadowing is
because
not Chekhov's gun.
if it were me and my friends, we just when we watch horror films, or any film, we're just constantly tearing it apart and saying what we think is going to happen, and just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's obviously that. It's and
Yeah.
Some people probably
yeah.
wouldn't like watching movies with me and my wife because sometimes we're just very like out loud dissecting it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Given- Yeah, we're like
I love doing that. I think
being a
it's
those
therapist
people.
to a character or something like that. Like, you know what this person's problem is? They're really
Dude,
hung up on their
yeah.
past with their dad. Like,
Doing that in the middle of a full theater, and people are like, "Shut the fuck up!"
yeah.
I want a version of Chrono Trigger now where it's just Corey tearing the whole thing apart, and like Glenn's obviously traumatized and dealing with his PTSD.
The reason he turned into a frog is,
is because he had
The meaning
to
behind this color.
hop on out of there.
I know. I love that he has the green hair when his original.
Yeah.
So
fucking
like as though Magus was or Magus whatever Majus was like, you know what? Green
Majus.
hair. I'm gonna turn this fucker into a frog.
I like to
It
think
has to be
like,
something green.
if it weren't cartoony, I'd like to think the character clearly had like the facial features of like reminiscent of a frog, and Magus was just like, "Fuck it."
Yep.
Just-
And he was like, and I'm still gonna make you like bipedal walking around and give you pretty good muscles. So like, it's not that bad. You just got a messed up head.
I think in the
Right.
dialogue he does actually say something about like I'm going to turn you into a frog because you're like a cowardly little thing. So I wonder if that's like a cultural thing. Like maybe in Japan frogs are seen as more cowardly, whereas here probably would have been a chicken or something. Frog would have been a chicken, a rooster.
Interesting.
Or maybe it's just the
That's funny.
idea that
Give
a
me the
frog is
mod
so-
where Glenn is
you
a
know.
chicken.
Maybe it's just the idea that a frog is so feeble, isn't it? And
Yeah.
generally speaking, unless you're fucking Froggy, who's
Right,
just
Right.
a frog with biceps.
yeah, literally the biggest bicep. He's fucking Schwarzenegger the frog. Oh,
But what would Reese's frog voice be like if Glenn was chicken? And would his name still be Frog?
Glenn.
We may never know now.
Yes, frog chicken.
Frog
Plucky.
chicken.
I will never cease to be amazed at this group's ability to take a question about the meaty, serious, and the serious end game side quests
It's
and
amazing.
somehow result
Yeah.
in wondering what if Frog had been turned into
Was
a
a chicken.
instead.
How did we get here?
I'm
I'm-
not so-
I may be
Yeah,
a
we were
small
talking
large
about a
part
short.
in the
And then
derailment.
he
so-
Just,
We were
We're all
talking about
Schwarzenegger.
neurodivergent, so
Nerd.
that's not
That's
surprising.
We got off on a tangent because we were talking about short Reese, but going back to it, some of those side quests were stupidly heavy, and kind of like out of nowhere too. Like I like when we were doing the scene with Robo, I wasn't expecting some sort of deep one-to-one between Robo and another robot, you know, about their past and like, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. How I mean, it was fun to play out with you because I was like, how do I portray a robot who's not exactly, you know, it's kind of got a general. It's very, you know, because you were playing, I wanted to play it similar to yours, which is very sort of robo, you know, very robotic. So I was like, how do I do that, but also make this have some weight behind it? So I didn't want to make the character seem, I wanted to make the character seem similar to yours, whilst also having a different energy and because of their intention and because of the, you know, the way they've been programmed differently and all that. So it was interesting because it was quite a heavy scene.
There's so much silliness in the game, right? That you know, when you get to those scenes, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it gets super heavy. It's like, where did this come from? Holy crap!
I feel like the game does a good job though of like easing into it. It's not just like silly and then it's serious, you know. Like I feel like it's a good. Like,
I like that about like that, especially that era of like Japanese storytelling, because I think a lot of like Square games are just like that. You know, they have like very, very good, like Final Fantasy VII was a game that I played around that time as well. And it just like has a lot of that, like a cartoony humor, but like not cartoony for like children, for more like, you know, teens, middle school era, you know what I mean? So some of those heavier moments are like super shocking. And then it's also like this dystopian, anti-capitalist, super environmentalist story, you know?
I think that's why they were so timeless, because you had these stories. Like when I was a kid and I was playing, you know, freaking Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3 back at the time. It's Final I don't know if 2 is something else, but Final Fantasy 3 is Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, when it came out on the SNES, and it was like such a heavy story and, you know, kind of unexpected for that time, because, you know, everybody thought that like they were just like childish. Like video games are childish things and whatever, and only babies play it and whatever. And then you get these really super heavy stories, and you know, Chrono Trigger is exactly of that time as well, and explored some really heavily moving themes, you know, for their time. Definitely laid out the groundwork and, you know, the blueprints for the extremely heavy things that you have in games today, like Expedition 33 and, you know, all that stuff. It's just, it's I don't know.
You could never adapt like those big stories into one like film. You never.
Right,
just,
exactly.
They're so huge.
And I think that's why video games are so meaningful to me, because especially the ones that have those heavy, deep stories, because they do explore all of these things that we, you know, we only get a little piece of, you know, when we watch something in a movie. I mean, they've gotten better with like TV series and stuff where they can expand it out and they can go as long as they want, and they can get as deep as they can in, you know, certain video games. But I forgot what the hell my point was. But
well, I do want to add
games
on to
are
that. That video games are interactive. They're interactive storytelling. So you are playing a part of the story, even if it's a game like The Last of Us where the outcome is predetermined. You're still playing as the characters, and so you get more attached to them in a certain kind of way that you wouldn't have just watching a TV show.
Yeah. Good job.
That's why they make the heroes silent so often.
Right. So, like, for even like Chrono Trigger, like it did influence a lot of games going forward, and one of the things was, to begin with, the fair and everything you did there, and how the consequences of those actions carried over into the trial. And I think that was pretty new for the time, but now we have a bunch of games like, oh, your actions actually have consequences, like in Undertale. But even so, like, not even just like the early game stuff, but the late game stuff too. We did not have to save Chrono. We could have we could have finished the game without him. He would have been dead forever, and we would have gotten a different ending. Or we could have crashed the Epoch into Lavos instead of, or we could have, what else? Just taken the bucket directly to him, to Lavos.
Wow.
So yeah, that changed. Just like the having more stock in the story and the outcomes. I feel like that does make video games a special kind of thing. But if we are done talking about side quests, are we done talking about side quests? Or?
Yeah, we can move on.
Sure.
We've completed that side
so-
quest.
Yeah, because it is an older game and it has influenced a lot of games going forward. But it's not as relevant as it is, like, say, to Stardew Valley, because that's the other game that we are playing, and that we are getting more views on the shorts there, probably because it is more relevant. So I don't know if you guys want to talk more about, like, the cultural zeitgeist that Chrono Trigger has had the effect on, and that stuff. Yeah.
One very specific thought that I had around that is I feel like, unlike so many other games from that era, which are seeing a lot of nostalgia and resurgence and being revisited in a lot of different ways, Chrono Trigger feels like this almost like redheaded stepchild that, despite having
He is redheaded.
despite
is that what
having
you said?
such an impact on, you know, developers and the people who go on to make games ever since, it's like it hasn't really had the same, like, Final Fantasy keeps getting revisited time and time again, not just through later installations, but like re-releases and remakes and all of these types of things. Whereas, like, for me, even finding where I can play Chrono Trigger legitimately it was difficult, right? So because I'm not on Steam, and it's like, well, if you're not on Steam, you're shit out of luck.
Oh, yeah, you're on
Super
Steam,
Nintendo.
right?
Well, now I'm on Steam. Whereas,
Am I
like,
mistaken? In
I could play like 3 different versions of Final Fantasy VII, the original, right? So it just, I feel like it hasn't had the same level of preservation that some of these other games have had.
Yeah, which is odd.
Well, the version
It's very odd.
the version we were playing was a remaster. That's why it had
Yeah, actually,
the
it
anime
was.
cutscenes.
It was
I was
re-released
gonna
on the
say,
DS, and it had the added cutscenes and the additional endgame content that we didn't touch because I don't think it's that great.
Right.
Is it actually on console though? I don't like.
No.
It's not, right?
Nowhere on console. And so for me, and I feel like
I think
we
that
are
era
on
hasn't gotten
console.
as much attention, in all honesty. Like the more the 16-bit graphics.
16-bit?
16-bit, yeah.
I think 32-bit? Fuck, I don't know.
It is available on mobile,
Is it? Oh, wow.
apparently.
But yeah,
Interesting.
it's still very, like, it's always brought up community-wise whenever people talk about video games as a whole.
Oh, it's on so many, like, you know, greatest games of all time lists.
Mm-hmm. Most
And yet-
influential. Blah,
Way
blah,
up
blah.
there.
Yeah. But if you're not talking about that topic specifically, like most influential, greatest, blah, 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 you're not talking about Chrono Trigger. Whereas I feel like other games do still find place in the conversation elsewhere. Like, how many people with the passing of Akira Toriyama a couple of years ago, last year, forgot that he even worked on the game.
I mean, I didn't know till I saw the artwork, and I was like, "That's a Dragon Ball character," you know? Like, I just knew when I saw it. That's how, like, iconic his art style is, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do. I
going
mean,
back-
Dragon Ball is what people talk about, of course. Yeah.
Or Dragon
Going
Quest.
to the
Or
reach
Dragon
the
Quest.
game has, I guess, because when you talk to people about like RPGs or something, I feel like the first one they're going to bring up is Final Fantasy VII. So when I'm actually
Seems like
talking
it.
with other people about like like what's your favorite game or whatever, and they say Chrono Trigger, I like gasp audibly because it's like yes, even though it has been influential to a lot of other games, not a lot of people have actually played it. And so
which seems insane because this Chrono Trigger has not aged at all. It playing it even now, I had a blast playing it again because it's a game that has appropriately not aged for a game about time travel.
I mean, I was playing it on my Steam Deck like a few months ago before we even had this like plan to do this whole idea. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just earlier this year, I was just like, because that's my retro game machine, and I was like, oh, I want to play Chrono Trigger, and because the battle system is so fun and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it does still feel timeless. Is like there's actually quite a number of things which become massive innovators that people take inspiration from that don't necessarily get that reach and stuff. For example, if you look at the Dark Souls games and everything that spawned off of them, before Dark Souls and before Demon's Souls was King's Quest or something like that, which was one of FromSoft's earlier games. And that heavily inspired their later games, but lots of people sort of brush it under the rug. But without those things, we wouldn't have all the plethora of Souls-likes and Souls games that we have now. And the reason for that is because that inspiration gets carried over to another project, and then the project after that inspires yet another project. So despite Chrono Trigger being so innovative, it's not, I'm not saying it's bad when I say this, I'm just saying in certain ways it's not as popular as other titles that came after it for whatever reason. And sometimes that's just the way the way fate spins things or whatever, or like you say, it's an ageless game, but time, it's not been preserved as well either. Steam
and as time goes on,
few ways you can play it.
As time goes on, the games that it inspired are going to be the new game that inspired someone else. You know what I mean? That's what if your first RPG was Final Fantasy VII, probably someone a little bit older than you or who had more games than you was like, "Have you tried Chrono Trigger?"
And look how well preserved Final Fantasy VII has been, with countless like remastered versions and re-releases and stuff over the years, and then remakes and stuff which go off in their own direction. They're kind of their own thing, but that it's been preserved a lot better than Chrono Trigger's had a couple of those remakes and remasters. Like Adam was saying, you can't play it on console, for example. That's a massive market share just gone. And yeah, some of that of it being as popular now as it may have been then, or just over the years in developing that popularity or losing that those shifts in popularity, I should say. That's also another part of the reason is just preservation as well of that experience.
So it's not part of the whatever the subscription thing is with Nintendo, where you can like play a bunch of virtual games. It's not part of that.
No, I don't think so.
Bummer.
I just looked it up. I mean, it's not even available on the PlayStation Store. So
yeah, I looked it up. I was like, I'm sure I'd
who would have the rights for it? I would expect that to be
Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it would be a Nintendo thing or not.
But I looked it up a moment ago because Chrono Cross, like Radical Dreamers or whatever it was version of the game, that's on PlayStation and PS Plus catalogs,
which is
and
on
everything
sale right now.
There you go. But Chrono, which is why I was like, are you sure? But no, Chrono Trigger's not been put on it. It's just not there. And like Reese was saying, it's on Steam and it's on Android or whatever, but or iOS, whichever one. But that's weird.
Yeah. Huge shame.
Thing is, though, even if you have a potato of a laptop or something, you can play Chrono.
But since it was re-released on DS, I would expect it to be on Switch, but it's not.
I've got it on my iPad.
Yeah, I don't know. What a shame. But it is on Steam, so, if anybody wants to play it, there's that.
Yeah.
Still, though,
if you liked watching this, go get it.
On Twitch, if someone is playing Chrono Trigger for the first time on Twitch, you get guaranteed viewers. Because people just want to see people play games for the first time. And Chrono Trigger is one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
People love to see... So I was just going to say, anything that's a classic, people love to see it. Like, I
do wonder, if you were to watch somebody who doesn't know anything about the game go in and steal the old man's lunch and just fuck everybody off during the fair, and then they get to the trial and they're like, what? The game was keeping track? I would be curious, but
I probably would make a lot of mistakes because I don't remember things.
No, I know I missed some stuff, but I'm going to be totally honest. I genuinely would not have expected a fucking sandwich being stolen to have influenced the court trial.
Do we know it was a sandwich? Do we know it was a sandwich? I don't know.
We just
Like,
assumed it was a sandwich.
Soup.
It's in a bag.
Whatever it was. You stole my lunch.
I like that it was in
You
a pink bag
fucking
too.
kids.
I remember that detail. But anyway, so we've kind of gone through the majority of the Chrono Trigger specific questions. So since we are rounding out the end of our first actual video game from completion, is there anything that we've learned and that we can apply to future projects as well as our own careers?
RESPECT.
Exactly.
Well,
That's a good
I will say,
question.
for Jeremy, I mean, this is maybe true for this game as well as some of the workout rooms. But you've experimented with like some new voices for these characters, and
Yeah.
I feel like you've like loosened up a lot throughout the series.
yeah, and you're exploring your own range, and I thought that was really cool just to be able to hear like, oh, this is Jeremy doing that. I didn't expect to hear that come out of your mouth.
Right.
So that's fun.
We don't do as many like comedic spots in workout rooms usually.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, like, I wasn't joking with the respect part of it, but also just learning kind of how to sort of riff off each other, and kind of coming up with interesting character voices and stuff kind of on the fly. And I think, damn it, my brain just shut down. Somebody else talk. My brain
I was
just
going to say,
totally
well,
shut down.
I'll jump onto what you were saying about
My brain was like
characters.
saying, "What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" And it's like, okay, I guess I'm not talking about anything. So,
I'll jump
stupid brain
I'll
voice.
jump on to what you were saying though about character voices and stuff like that, because having all these random characters pop up, and some of the times we just jumped into the hot seat and went, "I'm going to do this one," or you know, and all that stuff. And trying to like spice those things up, and because every time we did one, I feel like a lot of us wanted to do something slightly different to another voice we've already done. So like if people were playing like, I don't know, over the years, like 3 different old men, we were like, I don't want to do the exact same old man voice. Like I wanted the Chancellor to sound different to, is it Balthazar? I forget his name already.
Yeah,
I don't want Balthazar to say, I'm so, always the same, and all that stuff. So it's like, it made you think about it not just in the voice, but how does this character behave and stuff. And particularly for me, who likes to work in audiobook stuff, it's like I like having that range for my characters. And another thing we got from a bit of it, which doesn't necessarily lend to audiobook stuff, but improv a little bit. We kind of did, and sometimes it didn't work because we were just faffing about and just saying stupid shit. But like the fact that we were doing that and just having fun and playing and being creative is the whole point. That's what makes you develop those skills better over time as well. And obviously,
even
like,
sometimes 2 people started at the
practice.
same time and then continued at the same time. That stuff like that was fun.
Yeah, exactly. And then we were just like, well, this is how we're doing it now. Like when we had all those kids who were like, "Yes, master," and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like, well, this is what we're doing
so
now.
like that type
We're
of
all
thing of
doing
like
it.
deciding that like, because I think I was like some sort of carpenter master and I had all these people coming down the stairs. I just like decided I hated all of you and you like all slept in the same bed and
we're just getting more and more depressed as it goes on.
And then we all
there was something
we all
that kept
started
repeating, so like we would keep changing it and stuff. And
remember then we all started saying the lines as the kids.
Exactly. That's
like,
what
so
we're saying.
and it all just kind of started.
Yeah.
And it was all complete improv and stuff.
Right. And
it became a cacophony.
Great point.
Like one thing Heidi said earlier is like, how do you connect this to your career? Well, like sometimes in voiceover, like it is exactly like this, where they just go, here, do this character, or like, oh, we've got an hour more in your session. Can you do 2? You know what I mean? And I think like part of a SAG contract is you cast you as one character and then you can play up to 3 characters or something. I don't remember
Something
exactly.
to do with like more minor characters, isn't it?
Yeah, things like that. And that's happened to me where like I just last week I finished the session and there was like 15 minutes left, so I thought we were just going to be done. And then they were like, oh, also, can you do this character? And we just did that, and it was like really fast. You know what I mean?
You see
and,
you see it all the time in animation, because I've just been watching like the Justice League animated series, and suddenly like they have Mark Hamill in an episode as the Joker, and then he's also like two to three different side characters as well.
Of course, and he has such a range and such a big bombastic performance as the Joker. So like, of course he could have that. But in this, like, it feels a little bit like, oh well, we weren't ready, and the dialogue was just hoisted at us. But like that's exactly what it's like in the booth. They don't give you the script ahead of time or anything, and they're just like, all right, you're gonna do a character, and he's this age, and he does this, and like this is happening, go, and then you start reading the dialogue, and you know, so this is like great practice, and it's great to be able to pull out these things. And if like Jeremy's stretching his range, coming up with different characters, and then one random one that he tries, all of a sudden it locks in. It's like, oh, that's a really good one. You know, put that in my back pocket, and one day you'll pull that out for like an actual session. You know.
Well, that's such a good point with the improv. Not something that I really considered, but you know, you start with like someone starts with this character, and they do this with the voice. And, you know, I didn't decide what I was going to do until I heard that, and then you play off of that, and you start building it.
And the improv doesn't have to be making up words. Like we weren't really we were making up a little bit of words in that like Carpenter scene, but like a lot of it was just more of like the improv was in the attitude and how, because it's just text. It doesn't say like he said it angrily or condescendingly. We just put that in. Or sometimes we'd have like a random soldier that would just be like, and really polite or an extra bit of a dick, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, that's part of that improv, that personality. And that's what I loved about what we did with those carpenter like apprentices. Because we would, you know, we started off sort of, we accidentally were talking over one another. It sounded out of sync, and we kind of leaned into that, made it get worse. They were getting more tired.
And it was confusing because they don't always label which character's talking. So we just let it be that, you know, it's fun.
You know, and they got more tired, more frustrated, their attitude shifted and all that. It was great. It was so much fun.
Way more fun than us going like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
And we did that in an early episode. I don't remember which one it was, but we were in a tavern. I think it's when we first traveled back in time. I can't remember. And
I think I know.
You guys told me to take the character, and I did some voice that
is it the guy that's drinking?
Corey, you didn't expect the voice. Like, give me one of those characters. This is gonna be this is gonna be how they talk. Just because, you know, I was like, I don't know what this guy's going to sound like. Oh, I opened my mouth, and I guess this is how he sounds. So, the improv aspect of it, like I said, I hadn't considered that really.
And that counts as improv. Just being ready.
Yeah.
Just getting thrown into it is improv.
I think that has kind of helped, you know, just throughout, you know, the months since we recorded, you know, any of that stuff, getting better at the improv and kind of coming up with those things on the spot. Even when you're doing cold reads and things like that, and cold reading specifically, I'll say that's another thing that I've definitely
and you have to be good at cold reading.
Strengthened, right? And yeah, definitely. So, but what the rest of y'all have been silent. What have you learned?
Well, we just couldn't get a word in edgewise. Is the thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, me, Lawrence, and Corey get us going, and you just.
I know for me, like the thing that I come back to, you know, because all of us are at various different stages in our voiceover careers. So for me, this was my first time really playing with, you know, having doing the same character but over a series of months, and like just sort of coming back to it randomly every few weeks or so, and having to like keep that consistency, especially with Robo, right? Because he was sort of my main character, and I was like, okay, what was I doing for him again? How did I like keeping that performance consistent, remembering what kinds of choices I had made in his mannerisms, his attitude, his, you know, feelings towards the rest of the group, things like that, having to like recall all of those things. You know, sometimes there were, just to pull back the curtain a little bit, like sometimes we would record like 4 or 5 episodes in a span of like 2 days, and then other times it would be like a month between recordings. And so to have to like come back, I mean, I knew the basic sort of like premise of the voice that I had created, which was young Optimus Prime. But to then like again, like I said, all those other choices that I was layering on top of that became an interesting exercise in playing the same character.
I would be interested in seeing everyone's character. Maybe this is something that I'll look into doing, but like everyone, like the first time, like the first episode that they voiced their character, and then the last episode to see like how consistent it is. Like,
mine's
that time.
all over the place, so that'll be fun.
I feel like Jeremy, every time you voice a character, you were like, I don't know if this is what I did before, but this is what
I think I probably did. You could do a super cut of that page.
I especially loved like you went through like 3 or 4 different voices with Ozzy and stuff.
Oh, that's funny. I was just thinking about that too. Yeah, it started as Ozzy Osbourne, and then we decided that was fucking annoying, and so then I changed it to what was an interesting character voice, and I think it was like in the same episode or between the two. I can't remember what it was, but. And then it slipped. And yeah, I call myself out every time, which is something I definitely need to work on. Is like stop throwing myself on the, on the fire, basically.
On the one hand, it's one
because maybe other people won't notice it, and I'm like, oh, I screwed that up, everybody. I don't know if you noticed, but I screwed that up.
Well, this is the thing. It's great,
which is something that I do a lot.
It's great to know and have that part of your brain, but you want to split into the 2 parts and let your performer still be the performer, because this is the same kind of thing that makes you mid-take lose faith in what you're doing and lose that that commitment starts to crumble as well.
Yeah.
So you have to like separate those 2 bits as well, and know you want to be able to make those adjustments and stuff and know what you're doing, but you don't want to give up on what you're doing. You want to finish with that commitment and stuff,
and let everybody else do the work in trying to figure out if it matched or not, instead of just giving away the recipe. So
I do have something to add to that as a working actor, I guess. At least in the projects I've been, if I'm if I'm returning to a role and I haven't done it for a while, they will either send me a clip that I had done previously, so I know how to match it, or they'll like play it right at the beginning of the session. So you can be like, okay, so that's what I did. And that's like, they want you to continue doing that, not only for consistency, but also that's what they want for the character.
Yeah.
So in other words, a smarter, more committed performer could have just gone back through and watched his previous performance.
That's what I would have done, but I'm not that.
But this is just a chill thing.
And if we did that, think about how much the fact that we played so many different characters and stuff, the things we'd have to like listen to so many performances to try and remember, especially when it's some random dude that shows up like 10 hours later. And it's like, oh shit, what do we do for him?
Well, and I think the only ones that actually studied anything in this were Adam and Reese, right? Because Reese, you figured out Frog, you figured out the voice that you wanted to do for Frog, and Adam, you figured out Gato. You figured out the whole song, you came up with the whole thing. And if that had been ad-libbed, maybe it would have been funny as well, but it was gold because you did do
prep,
your due diligence basically.
I prepped for Robo
figuring that out.
Yeah, I prepped my entire life to be Magus.
And you prepped for Robo, and yeah, Corey's been prepping his entire life for Magoose.
This was his dream role. He's peaked.
I saw a picture of him, and I was like, I know how he's gonna be.
He has a cape and everything.
You gotta dye your hair silver now, Corey. And that cape, has a cape come in yet? By the way.
No. Hopefully by the time this is out, you'll have your cloak, man.
We'll see, man.
Hopefully.
Ever since Corey was a small lad, he's dreamed to play this role. Now he's got it, and he's done, and he can't go any better.
The cosplay is going to be so amazing.
Since he's been very, very quiet, and it's funny because we just started speaking at the same time, I was going to turn the spotlight to Reese for a second and just comment on the frogginess of Frog.
How being a frog changes his voice.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes we would be doing the faces too.
Yeah, and do the little.
Well, that's physicality. That's so important. That physicality.
I think I actually said it in one of the chat times way back, but like one of the first times I ever talked to Heidi was when I first got the resources going. and some of the things I put in were sides for Luca and Frog and Marl. And you did Luca and I did Frog, and I think what you said about my Frog was it sounds inauthentic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Was it different than what you ended up with then?
I've never heard a frog speak like that.
You should be rebitting.
Riveting.
I should have said.
But I think because
it.
of you telling me that, I kind of found like a middle ground in like between the frogginess and the glenness.
Yeah, I have no idea what your original frog sounded like, so I mean,
I think it was
like
a lot more froggy.
Okay.
I don't know if we made a short out of it, but there was one part when like Glenn has like some sort of speech that he says at Magus, and you're like, Magus this or whatever, and it was not in the script, but I was just like, what? I just don't understand. What's he saying? You know, what's this frog man saying?
Oh yeah, we need to find that. Clip that. That'd be a good short.
I forgot
Someone
about
let me know.
Enunciate your words, damn it.
That one was funny. Yeah, somebody find that and give it to Paige. That would have been. Would that be an episode that's already out?
Yeah,
Might
maybe.
be.
Okay.
I feel like it's when like I don't know, we're like all on a cliff and I've decided to work with you guys, something like that.
But that going back.
Oh, I don't think that's out yet. Well, as of this. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that physicality can really elevate a character than just going like, if you're staring, you're blandly just talking with just the voice, and not really changing your posture or the way you're holding your face or anything like that, how much it can bring into account,
or wiggling your glasses.
Really elevate. Yes, or wiggling your glasses. It can really elevate that performance so much more because you're embodying it. And
I think we talked
way
about,
more authentic.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. I remember I said something in one of the episodes where I think Marl was in it and Queen Zeal, where it was like, I know for myself, even just Queen Zeal, like just like having more like sitting up straight, just because it's like that. I don't know, it just makes you feel kind of more like
queenly.
Regal. Yeah, and like also that she's kind of a bitch, so it's like, yeah, I'm better than you, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do like the Superman pose for certain characters.
Yeah.
Like opening up your chest and like that's supposed to make it, I don't know, it's supposed to make you feel more like powerful, but it's also just like a posture thing that like straightens up your chest.
Or just like a head tilt, if it's a little more of an unhinged sort of character, turn your head a little bit.
All of that can lean into it because it if I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I think there's like a Pro ZD sketch route. No, I think it might have been on like, Make Some Noise or something, but it was like two voice actors that are, in a cartoon and they really don't want to be there and all that. And they're doing all the voices and they sound so excited, but like their faces are like so straight and they're like really bored. It's great. It's a little sketch kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, it really does show it because you can do the voice and it can sound like that and all that stuff. And it, and it can pass, I guess, but it doesn't have that authenticity to it because you're not really embodying it as much. And there's a big shift in difference compared to like if someone was really excited, and all that stuff compared to what they were doing and that. But obviously they were acting doing it badly in that. But you know what I mean? It does show, even just that sketch shows the difference because they are just saying the words in a funny voice or whatever, And it shows that difference.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a good one.
It is funny how good they still are, though.
That
really is part of the comedy that they do actually about better than average.
yeah. Like if you heard it in a cartoon and weren't looking at them, you wouldn't think any different of it.
Yeah.
But it also shows you just how much more they could do.
Absolutely.
Because they're deliberately holding back.
I feel like I used to like kind of sort of silently judge singers that would be like, why are you making that face? Are you just doing like
stop making a face?
It felt like performative or something like that. But then when you really like actually start to use your whole body for performance, you're like, oh, okay. I was being judged.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, when
like
it comes to singing in faces, sometimes it literally is just like to physically hit the note.
Sure,
It's like
yeah, but sometimes it is like even if it's something very soft, it's like can be very emotive, or like the way people use their hands and stuff like that. Whereas like your body movements don't have to match what the character is doing because you're not seen, but it's whatever helps you feel more relaxed and stuff like that. You know, like,
and it's kind of like that. Like with guitarists as well, and stuff like the dirty guitar riff face, you know, because you're so into it and all that stuff. Like,
exactly,
it's better than
yeah.
someone just being like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, you know, shrugging your shoulders is something that can make you feel more relaxed, or like holding an object. Or we were in a workout recently where somebody said like they like look at their nails when they want something to be a little bit like kind of condescending, and whereas like the character doesn't need to be doing that, but you've sort of you're giving off that specific vibe. You're giving, you know, like if it was a cartoon, you're giving the animator something to work with, you know?
Yeah, it makes me think of, there was like, I think it was actually like an interview with like Margot Robbie or something for, I guess like her Harley Quinn role or something, about doing like that, like the Brooklyn accent, where it says something, it was something about like, you just pretend like you just got your nails done and they're still wet and you're just kind of talking with your hands like this. And like she, you know, like it's kind of like a joke, but it's like, it just kind of comes out when you just have your hands like this and you talk with your hands and like, you know, you have the nails and everything.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And Paige, I wanted to, so the question that was being asked to all of us on, you know, what did we learn? Is there anything that you have learned, or anything that you've kind of taken from this first initial kind of, you know, let's play, voice actors play?
I think because also like I kind of said earlier, I'm at this point recording this, and probably also when this comes out, haven't been really pursuing voice acting for a super long time. Like it's only been really a few months. Even if this comes out months from now, I still wouldn't have been doing it for like a full year yet. So for me, I think the main thing that I've like, I guess, learned / like gotten out of like this first series, and also, you know, the other stuff I've been doing for voice acting outside of the series, is just kind of gaining confidence, both in like acting and also kind of in improv, and like just like being comedic and stuff. You know, actually like being like, I'm just gonna say this thing, and it's like, oh, okay, actually people did find that funny. Or sometimes it's like, you know, it falls flat, but it still is like a learning process.
I like your snark.
But like,
Yeah.
thanks.
I feel like genuinely, especially watching it back, you make me laugh, particularly in Stardew, more than anyone else. Just your little comments, and it just kills me every time.
Well, and they're sort of
feel
deadpan, right? You have kind of a deadpan delivery, and so
I think
like,
you got a Daria comment a time or two.
yeah, you've got a bunch of Daria comments in the
more than a few
workout rooms as well. For sure, like, you got that Daria down. Like,
yeah,
yep,
I know.
thanks.
I literally got that in a coach coach-led workout.
Just a couple days ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah. As of this recording, just a few days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's also for me that like this is such like a kind of, I guess, safe environment. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna be judged like by you guys at all. So I'm like, okay, I could just like, you know, say these things and kind of like see if a joke is gonna fall flat or whatever. But like I feel more I guess it's just kind of helped my confidence to be able to just like say these things, and then, you know, it actually
feel more
doesn't
free.
go as badly as like, you know, anxiety is gonna tell me that it's gonna go. Like everyone's just gonna look at me and be like, boo.
A lot of people don't realize that that's something that needs a lot of practice. You know what I mean? Like, if you think that you're ready, if you think that you can do all these things, if tomorrow someone was like, okay, I want you to be in the next, you know, this Spider-Man game, or I want you to be this like really popular character and you're auditioning for it tomorrow, or you're in the booth for it tomorrow, are you going to have a panic attack? You know what I mean? Are you going to be all right and do that? Cause like there's like the skills that we have as actors, and then there's applying those skills in front of people and to scrutiny, and having a voice director and not being offended that if they're going like, no, not like that. Let's take that again. Can you do one more for safety? We need to move a little bit faster. Things like that. And that can really throw off a lot of people. Of course, like that's normal to be thrown off by that. So that's something that requires a lot of practice. And I think that's something that people don't realize, like, well, how do I practice that? I'm like, you just do it. You just throw yourself into it. We're not here trying to create Oscar winning performances. You know what I mean? Like, we're just having fun with a group of friends, other actors, and you get used to performing with other actors. So then when you go in the booth, you're not like, oh my gosh, it's this voice director and it's this and whatever, and the engineer's time. You're just like, oh cool, I'm here with my friends. What's up, guys?
Yeah, I view it as like, like a lot of people say about voice acting, you just have to let yourself play.
It's a kid's game.
And about how important it is to like a mindset wise, like not take it personally. If someone's like, no, like don't do like that specific voice, maybe do something more like this. It's like, that's not like that it's a bad voice. It's just like, oh, like for this character, like their idea is like just do something else. And that doesn't mean, I feel like it's so easy, especially for people that have any kind of like, previous negative life experiences, whether it is like trauma or whatever, to be like, oh my gosh, like they said to change something, that means I'm a terrible person and I should just never come back.
I have failed.
So easy to do that too.
You want to be malleable. It's such an important skill to have.
Good
for them
word.
to be able to shape you into that shape your performance as shit, not you as a person, into what they want for that character.
Jeremy's Googling.
Malleable.
and
how do you spell that?
Today's word is malleable.
Today's word is malleable. No, if you don't want it to be, you don't want to be too rigid, because if you're really rigid and you get caught up on the way you want to do it, well, you're not doing the job for the person, right? With that, you're not being like, you're not achieving what you set out to do, and they're not going to want to work with you again if you're not able to take their direction and just go, okay, let's do that. I fucking love that idea. Let's do it.
I've had that happen on more than one project, and it feels weird for a minute when you're like, okay, I know what I did in my audition. I'm ready to like do that character. And then you do a read and they're like, well, hold on, let's do it like this. Let's do it. And it feels like you're doing it wrong for a second, because you're like, but I'm doing what I did in my audition. But they're like, we cast you because of the actor that you are. We didn't cast you because that's the way we want it to do. We cast you because we know you can do it the way we want it to be done.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, because it's not yours. None of it is yours,
Right. Yeah, that's good to know too.
Exactly, it's that disconnect, and you want to, even when something feels wrong and uncomfortable, that's because it's just not the way you thought to do it. It doesn't mean it's wrong. And again, this was about going back to when I was saying you want to have your own director brain and your own acting brain, keep them separate. Your acting brain just wants to play. It doesn't matter how it comes out. Just let it happen, because they'll tell you if it's wrong or right. You don't want to go halfway. So, like the amount of takes or something. I've like when I've recorded an audiobook thing and I've gone back and just been editing a few things and I've heard a line which in the moment I was like, God, I fucked that up. And I listened back and it's actually like gold. It's like it's golden, and it's like
it just didn't sound like correct to you
at that very moment, but it works like perfectly.
Yeah.
But when you zoom out, it works perfecly.
Right. You know what my favorite, one of my favorite wrong reads ever, but hilariously one was it's you, Jeremy. We were doing. And a few of us were in that. We did a reading of The Princess Bride, and Jeremy was the grandpa, and he's talking to
I know what this is going.
Talking to the kid, and there's a part where he goes like, he's like, you're sick. I'll humor you. And Jeremy read it like, you're sick. Just listen to this like, you're sick. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh, wait.
I remember it vividly because I gave a line about, I don't want this. Can't they all just like die or something? I can't remember what it was exactly.
Yeah, it's like skip the kissing scene. Skip the kissing scene.
That's it.
Skip to the fire swamps.
And you just go, you're sick, kid.
Oh, you're sick. Yes, kid.
I'm wondering.
And I'm like, oh, wait, I read that wrong. And then I just started laughing.
And Jeremy was real serious about it. He was like, oh, hold on, I didn't do that right. And we were all just laughing at it.
I'm wondering if we can make that available on the Discord. Just keep it unlisted.
Oh,
It's so funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But
we
yeah,
could put it on Discord.
I mean, a snippet. That snippet. If it's, I mean, I can't remember exactly who was in the room, but if they're, you know, with their permission, or if they're not included in it, taking that snippet could be fun to upload as a show of something we've done at some point. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely.
It was funny.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're doing co-reads of movies for content.
There were a few hilarious moments that I would love to be able to clip and you know, share out to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one.
It was good.
That was
also
definitely my
Andre the
favorite
Giant's
mistake
character
ever.
having like a clean British accent by Lawrence was hilarious.
Oh yeah. What was it? Was it like, oh yeah, giving him that sort of thing?
Yeah. Yep. Because you
Oh, I
you
don't
had the
know
same
about
Princess
that.
Bride, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, we can understand him. But the reason I bring that up is because we're talking about just like, you know, swinging for the fences and going for it. And even if you're wrong, which when you're doing an audition, you don't have any context. Sometimes you don't have the names of the characters that are real. Everything's been like changed, and they don't tell you what's going on in the scene. But they just want to hear you make a strong choice. And then when you get there, you're like, oh no, I didn't even realize I was doing it wrong. And they're like, that doesn't matter. You made a choice, you know.
Right. And you're here, so obviously it didn't matter.
And Jeremy wasn't questioning it. He really meant it. He was like, you're sick, kid.
That's like the thing with acting.
He
They
hit
say
it, you
is
know.
just make strong choices, even if it's
And commit to
wrong.
them.
Yeah, if you commit, it's like, you know what, like that's good, because you can always do it again in a way that like they want you to, not necessarily right, but like what they're going for. But yeah, strong choices is like what generally people say is the most important thing than getting it right.
Yep.
A director
And I
will help
can
you
feel a
make the
difference between when we
choices.
started recording to later about that, of feeling like I feel a little weird or like, oh, sorry, I stepped on you or whatever. You know what I mean? We'd just be like, okay, we're jumping into this character.
And we still aren't perfect where, you know, there's like somebody's lines pop up and we're still having a conversation and kind of forget. Because we get lost in conversation. And
Yes, we get lost in conversation.
I
Every
definitely get
single one
lost
of
in conversation.
All of us get lost in conversation.
But I also know not to point any fingers, but Corey also gets lost in the conversation.
Yeah.
And has done
Not
that
to point
as
any
well.
fingers, but
But-
Corey.
I'm not, I just don't give a shit.
It's not been a bad thing, and you know we're close enough friends now that like I can't remember if it was Paige, but Paige is like, I'm going to read now. Like,
Oh yeah, there was a really fun
just like cutting us off, like, oh, sorry.
I was going to
sorry.
say, yeah, it was great. It's and like those characters just go, excuse me, I'm talking, and all,
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did find I don't know, to me it was funny to kind of in character be like, excuse me. Like
Yeah, breaking the fourth,
that's
breaking
right,
that breaking that fourth wall. It's funny. It is funny.
Yeah, and just having that comfortability with each other, that we can do that now, and so that makes me excited for our other future content. You know, having that stronger, like I said earlier, camaraderie with each other. I think it's just going to make stuff even that much cooler. So.
Yeah, well, we've had a great conversation here. Thank you, viewers, for watching. I hope you stay tuned for our next project. And if you aren't already, watch some of our Stardew. We have some very silly shit going on there.
All kinds of good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for sticking around, watching through this entire Let's Play. More to come.
you guys
Find out
Love
next
you all.
time.